Hello! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a chatty review of both Rewitched and Uncharmed, and yeah, let's get into it. So I'm sure many of you know, if you're in the Bookish community, about Rewitched and Uncharmed because they're kind of everywhere at the moment online, and I've had Rewitched for a while. There you go, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's just something that I don't know why I kept putting it off. And I finally decided to read it because it called to me. And then my lovely friend Chloe bought me the second book, Uncharmed, from my Amazon wishlist, and we buddy read it together. So I've read them both pretty recently, and I'm kind of going to go through what I thought of both of them, basically. So let's start with Rewitched. So to begin with, I kind of went in not really knowing anything. I hadn't read the blurb. I just knew the general vibe of it from the cover and from what I'd heard on TikTok. So I knew it was going to be like cozy fantasy witchcraft vibes, which I'm here for. I am. What I will say is that I read it quite quickly. I think I read it in 2 days, which for me is quite good at the moment because I'm quite busy with work and then also quite ill as well. So if I'm able to read something in 2 days, that means it was really, really good. However, what I will say that now it's been like 2 weeks. Don't remember it. Don't have a clue. I mean, I do have a clue, but the ending felt like it wrapped up very quickly, so it's been harder for me to like process that afterwards. Whereas with Uncharmed, it's been a bit more like slower paced. Not slow, but like the pacing was just better, I think. But yeah, so with Rewitch, I don't really remember the ending too much. I do really remember quite well the bookstore that she worked at, Luna Books I think it was called, because obviously I love books, I love bookstores, and that kind of setting was really, really fun. So I enjoyed that, and like the mysterious guy who kept coming in, and yeah, all of that kind of like bookish stuff, that was really, really good. I also really liked how relatable the main character was. I think, is it Bella? Yeah, Belladonna. I just checked on my computer. Yeah, she's quite relatable. There was a lot of moments where I was like, yeah, go, same. So I also really appreciate that because most of the time books now, they have fun main characters, but they're not ones where I could be like, oh my god, like this girl is me. And I really, really loved having that. I really valued it a lot, and I've had the same thing with Uncharmed, so that's been good too. But yeah, if you are looking for quite like a quick cozy read, I'd say Rewitched is definitely very good. However, I will say that I have preferred book 2. So with Uncharmed, the main character owns a bakery called Celeste, and the vibes are just so magical. It's in like the human realm. I think it's in London if I remember correctly, and it's I want to go there. When I was reading it, I really wanted to go sit in like a tea room or something like that and like feel the vibes. I just couldn't find one that fit what I was reading, and it was really annoying. But no, I really do like that. It's one of my favorite things about it. All like the sweet treats that are mentioned, and like I can taste it when I'm reading it. It's that good. So that was fun. I liked that. And then also when she met Maeve for the first time, because like Maeve is supposed to be this kind of like misunderstood character that's fallen through the system, and like now all of these magical powers have stumbled like upon her, and she doesn't really know like what to do about it. I think part of her like absolutely loves the fact that she's got magic, and then the other part of her is like quite overwhelmed with it all. And then she's also like in the foster care system, so I think when she's like hanging out with, oh my god, what's her name? Why am I so bad with names? And why are the blurbs not on the back? Andromeda, Annie, that's it. Yeah, when she's hanging out with Annie at the cottage, I think she really just falls into the idea of like having a family and like wanting that family dynamic, which is lovely. It's so sweet, and the whole way through I was like, please adopt her. But also I'm not gonna spoil anything. I didn't love how towards the end, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but when they were leaving the cottage, not a fan of how he behaved then. I think it's all well and good to have your little holiday and stuff like that, but at the end of the day you have to go back to the real world. And what I like about these books so much is how tied into the real world they are, even though they're about fantastical witches. So like it was just kind of like grating on me because he was this lovely character, but I think he's also a bit immature at times, which kind of sucked because at first I was like, oh, he's not toxic, but then he was just like being really passive aggressive and like walking off and stuff, and I'm just like, do we have to do that? So don't really love him for that. Obviously with Maeve, I can kind of forgive her a bit more because she's a teenager, she doesn't really know what she's doing. But Hal, you're a grown man, grow up. But yeah, so don't love that. But I would say they're both really cozy, but I just think the second one's just stuck with me a bit more. The pacing is so much nicer, the characters are like more believable, I'd say, as well. Like I would see Annie doing things and I'm like, yeah, I've made that mistake as well. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I feel like with Rewitched, it didn't feel as realistic as Uncharmed, and obviously there's moments where I was related to the main character and stuff like that, but it felt further removed from real life. And I don't know why I'm looking for that in a fantasy book, but apparently I am. But yeah, anyways, I think that's kind of like my general thoughts at the moment. You know, maybe after I've sat with it for a few days, it might change, or I might think about more things. But that's kind of where I'm at. And as I'm filming this, the author Lucy has just announced the 3rd book. So I have to wait absolutely flipping ages though, which is really annoying. But I'm excited. I am very excited. But yeah, anyways, that's my little chatty ramble. I know it's not too much of a long video. It's a bit of a different one, but it was one that I fancied filming. And with my YouTube channel, I always just want to film what I fancy filming, because otherwise it becomes exhausting. And I wanted to sit and ramble about these 2 books. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, please obviously like the video. That would just be really helpful. Comment as well so you can see who's watching, and subscribe because I'm trying to get to 200 subs at the moment. We're nearly there. We're getting there slowly. And yeah, if you do enjoy my vibes, I'm very active on Instagram and TikTok and all of that stuff. It's all linked in my bio. And I have an Etsy where I sell signed books because I'm an author myself. So that's a little self promo out of the way. But yeah, I hope everyone has a super lovely day, and I will see you next time.